Hey friends, today I wanted to talk about the hidden conversation happening through that lead rope. One of the biggest things that stood out during the recent gentling camp wasn't actually about haltering feet or obstacles. It was about leading. Now, more specifically, it was about how much support I'm giving a donkey through my lead rope without even realizing that I'm doing it. When you've handled a lot of donkeys, many of these moments become automatic. I don't consciously think, move my hand here or lift the rope now. It just happens because that's how I've learned to communicate. Watching participants at the clinic made me realize how much information I'm actually giving the donkey every step of the way. Most people think a lead rope as something that keeps their donkey from leaving. I think of it as another way to communicate. When I want to turn, I'm already preparing the donkey before we actually make the turn. When I approach a gate, I'm already helping the donkey understand where I want their feet to go. When we're going through an obstacle, I'm constantly giving little pieces of information that help the donkey succeed. Even with experience, things don't always go the way we planned.
Oh,
I'm not dragging them through the obstacle, I'm supporting them through it. One place this really became obvious was when we worked on passing through the gate, an exercise through the gate. It's not enough for the donkey to simply walk through that opening, especially if they have a pack saddle on. If I don't support them, it's very easy for them to drift into the gate panel or lose track of where the opening sides actually are. The lead rope in my hand closest to the donkey becomes guides. Sometimes it's just a slight lift. Sometimes it's moving my hand forward. Sometimes it's changing the position of the lead rope. Or sometimes it's simply preparing them before we ever reach the gate. None of these movements are dramatic. Most people watching wouldn't even notice them. But the donkey notices. Those tiny adjustments help answer the question before the donkey has time to ask them. There's another time when I find myself naturally using the lead rope, and that's when the donkey becomes uncertain. Maybe we're just walking in a straight line and something catches their attention. You can often see the moment they start thinking. They might hesitate. They might start drifting toward me. They might think about leaving. Or they might even begin to walk into my space because they no longer know where to put their feet. Those moments are incredibly important because I don't want to wait until they've already made the wrong decision right now. Instead, I'm using my hand and the lead rope to quietly communicate, I've got your back. You don't have to worry. I'm paying attention to everything around us, and I'll help you through this. To me, that's one of the biggest purposes of the lead rope. It's not there just to control the donkey. It's there to provide guidance, direction, and confidence. The quicker I recognize that moment of uncertainty and the quicker I can offer support, the faster I'm building my resume with that donkey. Every time I help them successfully work through uncertainty, I'm showing them they can trust me to provide good information instead of simply reacting after things have already fallen apart. Over time, those little moments add up. The donkey begins looking to me sooner because I've consistently shown them that I will help them find the right answer. I think that one of the biggest differences between leading an experienced donkey and teaching a new one, when I'm leading an older donkey, a well-trained donkey, I don't have to support nearly as much. That donkey has learned to read my body language. They understand my intentions. They know where we're going. But with a newly gentle donkey, they don't have that history yet. They're still learning how to interpret me. That means I have to communicate much more clearly. I have to support more. I have to give them information before they become uncertain. The goal isn't that they'll need that much support forever. The goal is to support them until they no longer need that level of support. Over time, I can begin removing those little pieces of guidance because the donkey starts filling in the blanks on their own. Eventually, something really neat happens. The donkey starts watching me instead of the environment. When something changes, they don't immediately think about freezing or leaving or pushing into my space or making a decision on their own. Instead, they look to me first. They're asking, "What do you want me to do?" That's when you know the communication is becoming a conversation instead of a series of corrections. That's really what good training is. At first, we provide lots of information. As understanding grows, we gradually fade our help. Eventually, the donkey begins responding to much smaller and quieter cues. Looking back, I think this is something I've been doing for years without ever putting it into words. Gentling Camp helped me recognize just how much communication is happening through one hand and the lead rope. Once you start seeing those little conversations, you'll realize that leading isn't just about getting from one place to another. It's about helping the donkey understand every step along the way. And maybe that's the biggest lesson I've taken away. A lead rope isn't just something we use to guide a donkey's feet. It's one of our primary ways we communicate our intentions, build confidence, and earn trust. Every small moment of support is another line on our resume. And over time, that resume becomes the foundation of a willing, confident partner. If this idea of leading and building that communication through the lead rope is something that resonates with you, that's a big part of what we work on here during the Gentling Camp. Sometimes people come here and they start with unhandled wild burros. Everything is new. Touch, leading, feet, all of it. Other times people come and they're working with the donkey that has already been gentled, already has a foundation, and we're just refining that communication and helping them understand each other better. Both of these journeys are very different, but the goal is the same. It's about building understanding and confidence between you and the animal. And if you're watching this and you're not sure you're quite ready to jump into working with a wild burro yet, that's okay too. Reach out to me and we can talk through where you're at and what would make sense for you. Sometimes it's starting with a gentler step. Sometimes it's coming to observe, and sometimes it's having a conversation about what that path might look like before you take it. The important part isn't rushing into it. It's making sure when you do step into it, you and the donkey are both set up to succeed.